Okay, continuing on with task 20 for the urinalysis. I just have all of my supplies on this VETT right here. I have my free catch urine sample that I just caught outside with our little pug friend. I have a 12cc syringe. I have an 18 gauge needle. I have 4 different urine tubes. I'm just going to see how much I have in here and fill as many tubes as I can just in case we need extra for any reason. And then I have a pen that I'm just going to label my samples with. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to open up my syringe because even though it's a free catch and it's not necessarily sterile, we still want to try to keep it as clean as possible. So for example, when I brought my friend outside to collect the urine, I let him start peeing a little bit because I didn't want that initial urine on the outside. And after he was peeing for a little bit, I snuck my sterile bowl underneath just to get a good majority of his sample. And then I pulled it away without contaminating it with his hair just before he was done urinating, just so that I have kind of that middle urine portion. So then I'm going to have my sterile syringe. So I'm going to open up the cap. I'm going to take out my needle, or my syringe, excuse me, and then I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to take off the cap, and I'm just going to put my needle on, pull off the cap, and then I'm just going to carefully suck up my urine sample, and we'll see how much of a sample we got. And again, I'm not touching the needle to any part of the bowl. Okay, so as you can see, got a little over 12 mLs of my urine for my sample. So then I'm just going to go ahead and pick up all of my urine containers, and I'm just going to let the suction pull in the sample amount for each tube. So as you can see, I'm just letting the vacutainer kind of take the sample of urine without putting applied force to the syringe or the plunger. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna put the cap back on the needle, toss that down, and we'll put that into the sharps container because we don't need it anymore. And then this we'll put into the garbage because we don't need that anymore. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to take my pen and I'm going to label all of my urine tubes with the patient's name, species, and date. So we're going to say patient's name, species, date, and then on all of them, I'm also just going to write a note that it was a free catch sample. So I'll just say FC for free catch. Okay. So again, we have about almost 12 mLs of urine here for our sample, and I just labeled them all with the patient's name and the date and the species and that it was a free catch. So I'm just going to lay them here for a moment. We'll throw out this stuff because we don't need it anymore. And then in just a moment, we'll continue on with task 20 and just perform the actual urinalysis.